All right, greetings. It is I, Dr. Chef. I'm back. It's good to be back, you all. I know I've been missing in action, in this particular action, for a while. Excuse me. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Whoever is tuning in for the first time, please let me know, because that's helpful, seeing that I am in a little bit of a different location here. So please let me know if you all can, if anyone that's tuning in can hear me, and if my angle is good. This has been a pretty good 2 weeks, but it set me up really, really well for Motivation Monday. It sets me up very, 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 very well for this. With all of the different changing of my schedule, I did send in a link out to Facebook. My apologies for not being able to send in a link towards YouTube. I was not present for to be in the location where I could carry a laptop around, because I have had two clients that I had been knowing for some while, and they unfortunately they both have been diagnosed with diabetes and other issues, and had to be admitted into the hospital. One had to be, and leg had to be amputated, and I've been there for them daily for the past week and a half, 2 weeks now, and I'm finally getting a chance to come out for a break there, you all. And so that's the reason why I labeled this Motivational Monday, as Never Give Up. Yes, this is a task. As you all know, I am a naturopathic practitioner. I'm a wellness coach. I am a spiritual mentor, and I teach on all different type of life lessons, and this has been something that's naturally been with me all my life. Um, all praises be to God, my mother, my father, my grandparents. I have to give honor what honor is due. My spiritual leaders down throughout the years have helped me. I watched my elders intensely in the way they dealt with issues, the cares of life. I know I don't think that I have made it to the amount of wisdom or the amount of patience or the endurance that they have, because I'm still a youngin', y'all. And so they're up in their stages now. Notice I didn't say age. How you there, Sister Townsend and Sister Candy? Can you all hear me? Yes, I'm glad to be back, Sister Tyra. And on that note, and Sister Jerry, thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Please like and share. I need it, you all. Yes, I do. This Motivational Monday will most definitely be including myself, not just as a testimony, but I have to speak this because I want to speak it into my own soul. That's how trying and how, whew, that's how tough this past 2 weeks have been. And that seems to be the theme of your life when you have, when you've been labeled, and you have been created to be a good-hearted person, a kind person, a considerate person. Yeah, y'all, part of it is that you will be used, and you will be taken advantage of sometimes when you are only thinking about what God has placed you here to do. Yes, it comes with a lot of knocks and a lot of blows. I don't like when people think, or let me say or try to make us to believe that just because you're doing a good work, that means that you will not have tests. As a matter of fact, think about it. Anytime, if we can use sports, a person proves that they are the strongest or that they are the fastest, or they are the most skillful, or they learn the game the quickest. That's the person that they're going to try to use an example out of. Think about it. So if it takes a lot for me to get upset or for me to get angry, that means it only naturally means that because others are used to getting upset easily, they're going to want to try the person who doesn't get upset as easily. And then some These day and days, they'll try you just to see you get upset because it's funny to them. It's something that unfortunately those who don't have good hearts, those who don't have a lot of compassion, a lot of care, they can't relate, they can't connect, um, and so that's why that's something that I don't really I don't prescribe to. I never have. And I've also learned that now that I'm 49 years young, and I'm going to keep saying that, you all. I told you why. For those who are newcomers that's going to watch now and later, I have to state that for this year in 2024, which has already been a very, very, very outstanding year. I'm thankful to make it to this year. Um, Especially seeing the many things that I've done in such a short period of time from 2020 up until now, during COVID up until now. I never would have thought in a million years that I would have to go through them as many tests that I had gone through this past couple of years. But looking back on it, I can say that it worked out for my good. And I pray that you all can see that within your own life. But I will say this, it's important that we look for the good, that we look for the lesson in the test. It's important that we learn from our mistakes and from that we do not know. Um, and I'm so thankful that I do have a spiritual background. Some call it a religious one, call it what you will. Thank you for the likes and shares. But I like to call it what it is. It's inspiration. It's motivation. It is a good rhema word um, that I used to think of all the time. And I know it also that it's unisex. And there's a scripture in Ephesians 4 that says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness from high places. And it goes on like that in Ephesians 4 and 6. And you read on, it talks about the wickedness that takes place within this world today. So it means that um, that scripture is a motivating one. He's saying, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. And of course, he's saying this to women as well. So we all don't have to worry about feeling left out. Um, I think about these things that I have read and the things that I've studied, and then what has led me up until this day to where I can even have the heart or the mind to want to motivate, even in the midst of the test, even in the midst of seeing our people struggle with their healing process. It's a tremendous one. And then I think about Big Pharma and all of the evil and wicked things that's taking place. And I cannot say that I don't know why. I'm sure you all have thought about it too, that's tuning in and those who will tune in later. And all I can do is really truly encourage you all to just to never give up. If you know your purpose, you've heard me say it before, but I don't think that we can ever say it enough. Because of the many different tests and trials that come our way, because good can always be spoken evil of, because there is a thing called good versus evil. It is. And the most trickiest one to me that I have to really catch myself with, I don't know about you all, but I had to catch myself when I could tell that people are lying or people are being manipulative or people are playing reverse psychology, meaning where they make an image or say something with passion and they'll say something and then they'll leave out the other half that show that that will change the whole perspective or that will enlighten you and let you know if whether or not they're telling the truth or not. That has been one that I struggled with for years, particularly coming from those of us who say we are leaders, those of us who say we are good spiritual leaders, those who say that we are a child of God, those who say that they were called by God, those who say that I am a pastor, those who say that I am a good teacher, I'm here to help. Yes, I have been raised to believe that those of us who say and have had that teaching that we are held accountable to be just that. No, you cannot get the same empathy that someone else has that does not have those titles. No, if that be the case, then you must quit. You must stand down. You must stand down from that position. We even do it in marriages when we feel like somebody has dishonored the marriage. What we do, we dissolve it with a divorce. You're no longer considered married. You're no longer considered having honor of being called a husband or wife, because somebody has went against, if not both parties have went against the marriage vows, to the point to where now it ends up in a divorce. We don't have to debate whose fault it was, but if we look at the statistics, we know who usually does the most of the damage in a divorce. Need I say it, women? Need I say it? No, I don't need to say it. What we do know is that in the case where we are teachers and leaders and we have these honorable positions and titles, we know that we are held accountable to a higher standard. And yes, we have those that say that, don't you know that I am human? Yes, we know that you are human, but you are an extraordinary human when you take upon yourself responsibilities to teach others. Am I not speaking to myself? Absolutely. So you ask me, then why? Then how is it that you're coming back towards and you're providing service for people that are about to be sick and dying, and then have to watch them lie or manipulate, or to watch them cheat, and they have positions, or to watch them try and make it seem as if all they have to do is give lip service, even though they feed the hungry, even though they give away clothes, even though they may help a few people here and there, or maybe many across the world. I don't know about you all, but for me, my motivation on this Motivational Monday to keep thriving and to keep sharing and to keep loving and to keep caring and to keep preparing for the judgment that's about to come on, not just here in the United States, but across the world. And it's already taking place now if we think about it. My motivation is knowing that I have to give an account, because I do believe in God. I have to give an account for what I have done. And for any what some call sin, mistakes, or wrongdoing that has taken place that may have had a bad effect or a negative effect on the people around me, or the people that I have chosen to gather into my circle or amongst the groups, that means that I have to correct it the very way I messed it up. And I mean, that has to be done by the heart, you all. And so I come before you all as not just a leader, or not just a practitioner, not just as a wellness coach, not as one that's a spiritual mentor, not at all, not just as a missionary, but as a human being with some titles that's stating that we have to, you all, we have to hold one another accountable in the best manner possible, by not going along with things that are not truly healthy for them in the long run, or that's not healthy for you all. The one thing I've learned is that it is so true that the truth shall set the captive free. Telling the truth from the Bible is not good enough. We have to abide by it for those who say that they believe in the word of God. And I know, y'all, it's a journey. It's a journey. Saying that you have morals, but yet you are practicing immoral things. It's not good enough to say that I am moral and you know you have about 10 other immoral things that you are practicing. Yes, I'm going there on this Motivational Monday because I'm going somewhere with this. If you guys just keep tuning in, I'm going somewhere with this. Please like and share, like and share. When we come across our brothers and sisters and our friends and colleagues and those who understand what you are going through. It is important that we all hold each other accountable, just like a mother and a father speaks to one another about how we're going to run the household, just like siblings or when the parents pass down the chores that they expect to have done when the children come back from home. Just like when you're on a team and you're playing football and basketball and you all gather together, there is a particular way, a gameplay that they have in mind. And if anyone deviate outside of it, they don't say, oh, I didn't know that you was going to travel. Oh, I didn't know that you was going to cross the line of discrimination. Oh, I didn't know that you was going to miss the ball. They give them a strikeout. And somebody says, they're judging. No, that's coaching. That's team playing. That's holding you accountable. And that is the issue that I see that we have going on today. But what I'm here to say is that even though we see these things, even though I'm experiencing these things, and I have been for the last few years, but truly all my life, but most definitely for the last couple of years, more stronger than ever. And I believe it is truly because I have not broken in the midst of the storm. I have not run away in the midst of trouble and hardship and hard time. I have not been one that believes in just because the goings get tough and it gets rough that I just believe in the truly. It's real simple, y'all. It's real simple. The power of prayer. That anything that when you pray the prayer, the Father, whatever your will is, whatever your perfect will, and a perfect will just means to me, the word perfect means to be mature, to handle, to go into the most righteous direction for yourself in your life that will have the best outcome for yourself and those around you. Now, does this mean that you will not be attacked? Absolutely not. But understand that if you attack someone that's going to attack you, do understand, and I've had some, just a few, that didn't realize, and they said, well, we don't believe in what goes around comes around. Oh, trust and believe. You don't have to believe it. It happens. So I'm here to motivate us to not to get discouraged. Don't give up just because you see what's going on in this world today. I do see what's going on with the political race too, y'all. I was given a little water, so I had to drink that today. But I did have my watermelon. Blend me some watermelon with a little moringa, y'all, today. But it's warm in here where I'm at. It was extremely warm the last 2 days, and we'll have another good warm hot day, probably well into the 90s. The index feeling like it's about 100, just to give a little quick little weather spot here in St. Louis, Missouri. But nevertheless, this is something that I just do not believe in allowing, that we should allow ourselves to get discouraged about. I'm watching the political reign. Yes, I'm around a lot of political people. And yes, I have heard all of the agendas. I know about the 2025 agenda and why they are hoping that the person who likes to blow trumpets do not get into office. I understand why our women and others want to give a quote unquote melanated, what they call quote unquote black woman a chance to get into office because of the history that it would make. I understand, overstand that, thanks to coming from a political family and watching the process of this, and choosing not to go that route because I didn't like how the majority of the funding is not going to the poor and to the sick and to those who needed it the most. I truly believe in the scriptures where it states that the poor will always be with you and that we are supposed to treat them well. And it needs to be not for exploitation. I don't believe in us exploiting our people, y'all. I know it looks good and it gets a lot of money in and it gets people to seeing that you're doing something special, but I do not believe in the exploitation of our people that are poor. I do not believe in that. I've had many times where I thought about every time I give to the homeless and those who are less fortunate. Yes, I've thought about taking a video camera and going around and talking to them. But think about it, you all. Would you want to be placed on the camera if you didn't have a home and a place to live? If you were dirty and you weren't clean, just so somebody can hand you some money or hand you some toxic food? Well, I don't care if it's a piece of fruit. Would you? Or would you rather than wait until God bless you until you get up on your feet and then you be able to share your testimony to help somebody else to overcome or to help inspire someone else to be able to pick themselves up from the ground and give them hope that they can be better? I choose the latter. I choose the latter because I know enough about the inside and why we do these things. I know too much, some may say. Not for my own good, but because I ask God, Lord, if there's anything that's taking place that will harm children, that could harm our poor, that could harm our elderly, that could harm your people, or anything that could be considered unrighteous, don't allow me to participate in it. And I know it's a fine line because we have those who are wicked in high places being the number one givers, whether they say they be spiritual, told in the Bible, or whether they're just walking in a suit in the political ring. We got it on both ends, you all. And it's a horrible thing to be one that have eyesight to be able to look into the future and to be able to see what's about to take place, because there are many that's about to be destroyed just for that reason, for exploiting our people. There are many that are going to be destroyed because the time, that's just the way life goes. You cannot mess over good people intentionally for the love of money, for the deceit of money. You cannot do it to try to make a name for yourself. You cannot do it and you not be brought to an open shame. So I don't want us to get discouraged. I can't allow myself to get discouraged. I don't want you all to get discouraged when you all see what's about to take place, no matter who gets in office. Yeah, it's going to be a good thing to see women one day get some respect. But from what I'm seeing thus this far, I hope that we show enough respect for ourselves, that we don't allow pride and arrogancy and all of the mental abuse and psychological abuse, and especially for our so-called unquote original Black women, that we don't get beside ourselves to the point to where we become just like those who have oppressed us for many, many, many years, and for those who have challenged us that are of the opposite gender. I can say that because I know what it is to be mistreated by the opposite. But I'm so thankful that I can honestly say that for the most part, I have not. But all it took was the few that I gave a chance to. And they let me to see what it means to have to deal with narcissism. It made me to see what it meant to have to deal with manipulation. It made me to understand what it meant and the damage that it does to have to deal with jealousy and envy and strife. And no, it's not a good feeling. But ladies, sisters in particularly, I want to use this motivational Monday to most definitely encourage you all to not to pray more, but not to give in to the shift and the change that's about to take place when Kamala Harris get into office. I do want to use my platform to say that. And you all know I don't say much about political things outside of just briefing us with that you already know, that is not good for us to participate in if it's not truly helping the people. We the people. I want to encourage you all to not allow it to bust up your marriages. For those of you all who have been found by the men that God intended and that is good for you and your family, don't allow that. I want to encourage you all not to even get caught up with those who like to that have the other spirit on them, where they become lovers of their own selves. You know what I'm talking about. I know the few that do tune in. I know you know what I'm talking about, because that's what's about to happen, y'all. I like to encourage us not to get upset, not to get afraid, not to get beside ourselves. Because if sure enough, if everything else have been fulfilled in the Bible and throughout history, for those who all to say, well, I don't believe in the Bible, I don't believe in the Torah, I don't believe in the Quran, I don't believe in nothing but what I see, then what you see is what we're going to get. We see things crumbling, and it's not just going to affect America, it's going to affect everybody that has slept in the bed with America. That's all. That's China, that's Africa, that's all of the other countries that have slept in the bed, that has benefited from something from America. Trust me, all of the politicians have benefited from the currency of America. And any of those who think that you're going to run away and be somewhere else, but yet you're still getting the currency from here, thinking that you're going to do better out there, you're still taking from the whore. I said it. I said it. We're still taking from what we call the great whore nation, meaning where we do not practice enough spiritual, good, home abiding, moral things here. If you're taking from here, from the people from here, then and you're giving it elsewhere, yeah. I understand immediate families. I understand business. I do. But if this is I'm saying, if this is the resource that we are relying on, then it's not going to change. It's like taking money from a thief. Aha, we ain't talking about that now. We ain't thinking about that. Well, at least I take the money from the thief. Well, I get the money from the thief so I can help. Why come you just couldn't get it from the holy man? Why come you couldn't just get it from the good people? Why come you just couldn't get it from, just go to other countries and get it from the countries that actually do take care of their people? It's so much, you all, that we have to deal with today. And as you can imagine, you all are getting just a taste of what goes on in my mind. Just a little bit taste, just a little bit. But I knew that I couldn't take and go another week without coming, because I probably would have been too overfilled. I probably would have been too overly motivated and would have missed some things, you all. As I stated, I don't do a strip. I speak solely, fully from the heart. From the heart. As the scriptures say, from out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And so these are the things that I care about, those that are in positions and leadership. And this is one of the reasons why you hear the Bible speak of us praying for the leaders, the rulers of this world. It didn't just say for us to judge and to curse them, even though there is a passage that actually states that if a leader or ruler over a nation, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, so no one have to write, because I can't think of the exact scripture where it comes from. But if there is an ungodly ruler and he is ruling in an ungodly manner or in a manner that's not good for the people, it says that the people have the right to overtake them. Kind of like what happens in Haiti. Kind of like what happens in parts of Africa. That's why they can't keep presidents for too long. They assassinate them once they find out that they're crooks. Or if they're not abiding by the politics that they want them to abide by. So how can one do well in a land like that? But I'm still here to say, be not discouraged. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reapeth. And that goes for us women as well. So I've missed you all. I pray that you all have been doing well. Oh, it's good to see you. Shalom to everybody. Hey there, Brother John Green, Dr. Chef. You are preaching. Don't want to throw names out there, but I'm glad you have your own channel and not control on someone else's channel. Oh, thank you so much, brother. Yes, me too. But that was a test that I needed, because other than that, I would not. See, this is how transparent I'm going to be with you guys, so it can motivate those who have been downtrodden, taken advantage of, mistreated, pushed aside like your abilities and your gifts do not matter, um, it's good, because I would not have gotten before you all if I hadn't taken the chance to actually do this at the time when some of you all first learned about me. That's what I had time to think about and meditate on. As the old saying goes, that what Satan meant for evil, God turns around for your good. In my case, I could say what he meant for money, or what he meant for clout, or what he meant for to cover up some things, it turned out for my good. Does that mean that my everyday has been easy? Absolutely not. It's been tremendously challenging. Tremendously challenging. Mostly because of the missing of my daughter, because I am a mother, but and the missing of my mother and my father. So this month is a really big month for me. On the 13th will be the anniversary, the 8th anniversary of the passing of my father, and the third anniversary, which the time went by so fast, of my the passing of my mother on the 22nd at the end of this month, and of one of my favorite aunties, which is her sister, on the 22nd as well. And but what I do, and I pray that it helps you all as well, that when you're thinking about who you lost or who's no longer with you in the flesh, then think about who's still here. So I have my aunties, my uncles, my first nephew, his birthday is in this month. I have other special people that have been born in this month. And that's how I balance out, you all. And I hope to encourage you all to do the same. So even though these two people made these three, my mother, my biological father, and my mother, and my firstborn daughter is no longer here, or in this particular month, both my parents passed in this month. I I take it as an encouragement, because my father famous saying to me was always, "Stay focused, young lady. Stay focused, young lady." So that means to me now more than it did ever. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It used to get on my preserved nerve thinking about, why do he tell me that? And he can just been and just ran out the door and giving me a big hug like he hadn't seen me forever. That is the welcoming I got from my daddy. Yes, I was a daddy's girl, and in every sense of knowing what it meant to feel loved. My father did a beautiful job. My father and my step-up dad done a beautiful job with making me to understand that I was to be cherished, that I was to be treated like a child of God, a daughter of Zion. And without that, yes, I probably would have crumbled, you all. I lie not. I probably would have failed and never gotten back up. I told you I'll keep it 1 million with you, because those memories are good. My step-up dad left off and picked up where my biological father did. I had an uncle, and still have them, that have always treated me like a child of God, like I was I don't like to use the word special anymore. Like I was a human being, a creation that was meant to be cherished. And so the good thing about this, and this will be directed to any of the brothers that tune in, when you all do that for your daughters and your nieces and the women in your life, just understand that you are strengthening us for those men that may come along that may not be able to believe that this woman has this heart that she has, or that she's this good, to the point to where they're willing to go against all odds to get to her, just to find out, or just for them to be left feeling like, especially if you go about getting her the wrong way. And I mean the wrong way, meaning that you had to do immoral acts to get to her. You all set us up to know the difference between being loved and appreciated and respected. And it makes it, can I use the word hella? It makes it hella hard. It makes it hard for us to settle for anything less. And this is the way women we should be with our sons, with our brothers, with our nephews. It should be that way, because when the standard is there and the good foundation is there, no matter who say they come from a two-family home, no matter who say my mom and my daddy was a preacher and a teacher, I can say that too, and a missionary. But what matters is how we treat one another. That's all I'm saying. Even in our so-called high position and titles, while we looking up high, while we're on our high horses, as they used to say, and looking down low on everybody else, or when we're in our on our high horses within our minds, but we're acting because we see we're before a platform. We're acting like I'm so humble. Oh no, I'm just a lowly me. If that be the case, then you wouldn't go after the position. I said it. I was just speaking to another leader just the other day, and I've heard all of my wise elders, which are men mostly, and women. All of us know that when you have been practicing and doing and living a life of loving and taking care of and being responsible for a group of people, and even if that group of people is just your family, because family first, even if it's your group, even if it's your family, we all know that that is a position that you don't run to. You don't run to that. You're not knocking down doors saying, see me, hear me. No, it's my turn. It's my turn to take out the trash. Oh no, it's me. It's my turn to pay all the bills. It's my turn to run all of this. No, me. Women, it's my turn to do all the laundry. It's my turn to do all the secretary work. It's my turn. Real leaders know. Can I say just real? Real humble leaders know. That's not a position you run for. And then when the going get tough, you talk about how stressed out you are. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to. I needed that laugh. No. No. I can tell you right now, I'm not stressed, even though I have encountered some unfair and unjust things of it. But I know I'm not stressed at all. God is blessed where I've been able to not have to partake with those who have tried to. He doesn't allow them to stay too long in my life. And I do give credit to having a very powerful prayer life. No, it has not stopped me from losing things and doing certain things. And yes, but I have seen where that has been mostly on me. See that accountability, you all? Me trying to give mercy beyond what God would give. Me trying to give our people time enough to heal and to try to grow. I've even done that in my past marriage. I've done that in past relationships. I've done that with certain family members. I've done it with certain so-called friends. And each time I learned something about me. So I had to change the prayer, and I had to focus more so on how do I learn how I pray this is helping someone. If you are the caregiver, if you are the person, the go-to person, if you are the minister, if you are the teacher, you are the leader in your family, and you notice that you are the one that things usually fall back on, not because you're the one that's trying to take on all of it and not learning how to distribute jobs for those who you have that's able to work with you. But I'm saying for those of y'all that are doing it truly from your pure heart, because notice when you do it, you don't really have to say it. The actions will speak louder than our words. It is true. You say it a few times and you let it go, but your work will show hands, and not what everybody else is doing for us to work. Because see, I don't know about you all, but if you notice, our countries are being ran by people that speak. But have you seen the president get out there and have to fight the war himself? Let me take off my glasses for that. Have you seen the pastor have to get down there and, well, most have to go and actually go and save everybody and then turn around and clean the whole church and do the whole lot and lift up all the money, make all the money that the church need to give to the poor and to give to the homeless? Do you see the doctors come in all time of the night up in the hospitals to make sure that people's beds are changed, to make sure the vitals are checked, to make sure that that the blood sugar levels is right? Do you see the doctors doing that? There are very few that will. Very. And it puts me in the mind of the scripture says that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. It didn't say what title you had. It didn't say it. It says the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. This is not work to speak. It's not work to speak. It's not work to speak. This is only stressful to speak good things in life into our people when your mind and your spirit is not right. I said it, y'all. Let me do that again. It's only stressful when you have sin in your life, constant sin, big sins, huge sins. It's only stressful when you are telling partial truths and lying. It's only stressful when you have built something that's supposed to be good and great on a faulty, on a crumbled foundation, on a weak foundation. I didn't start this. I didn't become a naturopathic practitioner or wellness coach or nursing or missionary work based off of just my father passing. This started way before my dad passed. I didn't start it because my mother passed. Started way before my mom passed. I didn't start it because my daughter, me lacking in knowledge, and her father lacking in knowledge that immunization shots could actually damage my child. That was an extra motivation. But it's safe to say that come from birth, I was always loving and caring and had a heart for people, because I can remember as young as 2 and 3 years young, wanting to help my auntie with her feet because she had arthritis in her foot, while all the rest of the kids were running outside. This is how you know when you are doing what God has called you to do, or what you've been placed on this earth to do, because it's in you, not based off of because my daddy is a preacher, because my mama was a missionary, because they raised me up in the church. Yeah, that has a part in the journey. But what makes this, catch this, my yoke is easy, my burdens are light. Then you make the word of God be a lie. My yoke is easy, my burdens is light. It only become a burdensome when we are taking on more than what we are supposed to take on. And how many of us know that that happens? And then we want to project this off on you all to compensate for it. I said it. And it's not fair. Don't we say a lot that life is not fair? And then from my spiritual people and religious people that like to say that, oh, yeah, God won't put no more on you than you can bear. And I say, yeah, I can believe that that's true. But hear ye, hear ye. But it didn't say that we wouldn't. It didn't say that man wouldn't. It didn't say that a woman wouldn't. It didn't say that your children wouldn't. It didn't say that your president wouldn't. It didn't say that your congressman, woman wouldn't. Think about it, you all. So, what can we do to make a difference? Once again, you, I, be the change that we want to see in this world today. That's what we do. You and I, we have to be the ones who find like minded people with good hearts from a good place. I know it's not easy, y'all. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. I want to say it's not easy being cheesy. Oh, it's not easy. I smile because you have to smile sometimes to stop from crying. It's very challenging. I used to get tired. And I think because I got tired, listen to what I say, because I think that because I got tired of hearing those who were closest to me saying, you got a good heart, you got a good heart, you got a good heart, you got a good heart. Oh, you got, and some that would get upset with me when they would be in their sickened stage and say, you think you're perfect, no, you think you're perfect, you think you're perfect, you think you're perfect, huh? You think you're perfect. I would get tired. I eventually grew tired of hearing that all my life. Notice I didn't say 5 years ago. Notice I didn't say 6 years ago. Notice I didn't say 7 years ago. Notice I didn't say 10 years ago. I didn't say 20. I didn't say 25. I didn't say 30. I didn't say 35. I didn't say 40. 45. You get the picture. No, I was born and I was created clearly because the scripture says that he knew you before you entered into your mother's womb. And as the time went by, I started to believe that more and more. Because it's just certain things, if you think about yourself, and maybe even those who you think that you know around you, it's just certain things that you just can't change about yourself, no matter how much you try to change it. It's just in you. Without no other examples. Without no other examples, you all. It's just in you. I didn't see anyone drawing before I started drawing at 3 years old, perfect pictures to the point to where my Caucasian teacher at the time snatched my art paper from me and made me sit down like I had did something wrong because she couldn't believe how good I could draw and paint as a little girl. Actually, I was 4. I couldn't believe it. That's just a small example. But that was one of my first defining moments of understanding that you can be good at doing something and you cannot be in trouble. I never got in trouble. I didn't have anyone that I could talk to at the time. It was only one other black girl in the class. Everybody else was white. I only had one semester at that little school. All praises be to God. I'm not stating this you all to sound prejudiced. I'm stating to you what's true. I got people that can back this up, that can confirm. And I'm so thankful for my Uncle Rod for coming to pick me up. And I just cried on his shoulders like a big old baby because I was still a little girl. And he asked, what happened to you, niece? What happened? And I had to explain to him, I said, I drew the picture of the sun. I drew the picture of springtime. And I did a good job, and all the kids gathered around me. And the other teachers that came in to see the artwork that I did. And the teacher, the moment everybody had sat down, and she made them go sit down, and she said, let the teachers left out, and she told me, go sit down. We didn't have a particular artwork to do. Now, as a child, I was confused because I'm raised around aunties and uncles and a mother and a father and grandparents that celebrates me. That say, oh, wait, look at what she did. The only debate was whether or not I should draw with my left or draw with my right. So I wind up doing with both. Mostly with the left, because I think with my right mind. But was mocked for it all the days of my life. I'm painting a picture for you all that this is when you know that something is rooted and grounded in you, that you were born with. And yes, DNA does play a factor. But who made your mother and your father? Who made your grandparents? Where did they come from? Who made your great grandparents? More importantly, what spirit did they have that was transferred down to you that makes life so challenging to you? See, I share it all the time. I don't act like just because I've gone to colleges or just because I've gotten a degree or just because I've gotten certificates and license. And no need of throwing any shade at anybody for getting it. These are some of the criteria that it takes to operate or to be respected or for someone to think that you know certain things in particular areas. So kudos to those of us who have achieved these things. But what I find is the greatest achievement is finding out what really truly motivates you to be the best human being that you can be while you're here on this place called Earth. Learning how to be in the world, but not of it. I told people, I'm not going to lie, raised in Sanctified Church, we couldn't dance. They said, don't dance. My mother stopped me from dancing. I remember her having to walk with me at 8 o'clock saying, you know, I can't put you in ballerina class, right? Because that dancing is of the devil. And I remember the rest of the walk home, I was crying like a baby. Because this is all I knew as a child coming up to be a good little dancer. I'm pop locking, I'm doing it all. I'm tap dancing. I'm just all happy little thing. I'm just thinking to myself, how could you take something away from me and tell me that it's evil? When I see everybody, that every time I do it, it makes everybody feel so good. Nobody is fussing. Nobody is arguing. Everybody is happy. Everybody is clapping. Everybody has a smile on their face. The energy, the spirit in the home is so happy. My father had stepped in. I hadn't seen him all day. And he would come off of work, sweat all on him. And then my mom said, do that dance. And I do the dance, the little shovel. Woo, woo, woo. And he just cracked up laughing. It's like all this tiredness just left him. Good in you. Or you have been born to be somebody great in the eyes of God. And just because someone else come along. Now, I know my mother didn't know any better at that time. But guess what, y'all? Took 36 years from that age of being 7 for her to tell me that. Took till I was 36. And I love music came on. And I was walking down the hall. I was married with children by then. And I had so much respect for my saved and sanctified mama that she knew that I wouldn't break it down. So I hadn't danced at that point for 20-something years. I maybe do a little, and I was a drummer, and I sang. I got my rhythm out in another kind of way that would be more acceptable for the type of people, what we call the sanctified folks that I was around. And finally, my mother came up behind me one day. And I can't remember the song that was playing, but I know it was a gospel song. And she said, Felicia Ann, she said, it's just in you. She said, go ahead. Just go ahead. Go ahead, do your dance. Yeah, I had to laugh for that one. Because I had spent that time from the age of 7 all the way to 36, going on 37. Married with children. Had my accomplishments. And all I was waiting to hear was that it's okay to do your dance. So I didn't clown her. I just did a little bit of a Martin. Yeah, today we can't afford to wait that long for an approval to do what's good and what makes you happy, to operate in what comes natural for you, to to exercise your rights, to be a good person. You're not doing anything to harm anyone, to manipulate anyone, to cause anyone any hurt and pain. Then my God, you better do it, and you better do it well. Do it. Just do it. I don't know who I'm speaking to, but please like and share, like and share. Because for me to be able to come before you all, I told you I keep it 1 million. For me to be able to come before you all on this Motivational Monday, I promise you, the adversary would have loved for me not to be able to do it. But I had thanks to those who reached out to me. Sister Thompson and many others that reached out. Sister Cherry, Sister, all the other sisters, the other Sister Cherry. Different ones was reaching saying, we miss you. We miss you. But I had already had you all on my heart. I'd already had you in my mind. I said, man, I'm going to tell you how I had you in my mind so you don't get a misunderstanding. It wasn't just a tune in to me. I had you all in my mind, and oh, man, it came up on me that fast. Getting a little choked up. Bear with me, you all, as my elders used to say. I had you all on my mind because I know tomorrow's not promised. I had your families on my mind, in my heart, wondering how those who are mentored, those who have taken on coaching sessions, how you all are doing. I have clients that pay a monthly fee, not a lot, but some that are able. That I know how tough it is to be the one that's seeking the goodwill of God for yourself and your loved ones, and for others not to fully understand. I know what it is to have to carry a torch, even when you're supposed to have another or a strong man to do that, to lead the way. I know what it is to get burnt by that torch. And I meant burnt to smithereens, to the point to where you ask God, is it my time to go? So for those of you all that's ever been in a position on this Motivational Monday, I'm saying never give up. There is, I don't want to say the saying, the rainbow at the end of the sky, but there is victory for he and she that endures to the end. People often ask me, okay, what legacy do you want to leave? Not because they don't know, but because I guess they just like to hear it. The legacy that I want to leave is one that is of good spirit, the one that has never given up on our people, the one that has always had a mind and a heart to be fair and just, even in an unjust world. One that has participated, at least participated, and yes, I'm being modest about it, in helping to heal. And I say helping because I know there are those that like to give all the credit to us for teaching and for reaching you all, and giving good health advice. But the truth is that you have to take your hands and put the right things into your mouth. You, in the weary times of night, have to make the decision that I'm just going to drink a little water or sip on a little tea, and I'm not going to make myself sick. You are the one. Yes, I'm giving it back to you all. I'm giving it back. It goes back to saying that I used to hear the late Bishop John H. Pettiford say, I need you, you need me, and we need one another. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to have you all to send in donations to help, because it's not an easy way. No, my financial state is not where it used to be, because of I don't have a lot of price gouging going on. I don't have a I don't have to think about somebody complaining about paying for $1 million home. I don't have to worry about somebody talking about how many suits or how many shoes or whether or not the kids should get $100 shoes. I don't have to worry about spending a lot of nothing for nothing. All praises be to God for that. I don't have to think about trying to keep up with the Joneses because I come from part of the Jones clan. However, this is the way I do have a strong desire to want to help people more here. And if I'm able to have enough to help abroad, I will. If, when. So I want to say special thanks to those you all that have, Brother D that has sent in his payment. Those you all that know I have Cash App. It's still the same. I appreciate that. That helps a lot. I have not been able to make up enough to be able to get our products just for those who will tune in on Wellness Wednesday. I do, if God's will, I'll be able to come back before you all on Wellness Wednesday around about the same time between 5 and 6 p.m. is my plan. I'm getting into it because I have those who's calling me for my next session, you all. And yes, I am deliberately trying to cut back on the time some, you all, because I have it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. But I must say, I have noticed that when I cut back on my time, half of my people decline. I don't know if that's because of the time. Um, Maybe that was a time that the working class was off, but I'm like, no, you still would have had time enough to tune into my channel. But I think maybe because I hadn't spoken as much or as long, or maybe because the glitches that I had. And then again, also, I did get a warning from YouTube. I don't know what in particular. I think it was a post that I post, not YouTube, but Facebook. I did post a post there, and they blocked some of my people that tune in. So for those of you all that do tune in and is able to see this, please like and share. That will help a lot because I think they said we have to keep you have to keep at least an audience of 100 in order to even post on Facebook, or and I'm sure eventually the other platforms is going to do the same. And so no, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not a worry, but of course, if you want to be able to do this, and I'm able to connect with you all in this way, that's free, then I do desire because of that to be able to do that. Because if that be the case, if I needed funds or you all needed products, you can just always call the number 618-388-8100 for consultation and for coaching, for mentorship. You all can call the 618-388-8100 number for that. You don't necessarily have to come before here much to be able to do that, but I know that having that face off and us seeing each other does help because it makes us know that we are real. And I know we should do it before AI take completely over with. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that, but oh well, it is what it is, you all. So I just want you to know that I'm here and I am well. And I see it's a blessing to see those of you all that are, hey, good evening. Good evening, Sister Diane. It's good to see you all. And just note that I am keeping all of you all in prayers, and you all continue to pray for me. Pray for my clients that two of my clients that have come back that is in deep need of mental, spiritual, and the physical healing. Um, yes, one of my clients, and I don't know if they're going to tune in or not. We were going to work on that before they had to be transferred to rehabilitation center, but it's a pastor and business associate. And unfortunately, he had to have his leg amputated, his foot and part of his leg amputated this past week or so. And this is the reason why I could not tune in during this time, because as you all know, during that time when clients get to that place, now you really have to be strict on how they're practicing to eat to live. And that was indeed a struggle. And the fact that he had access to insulin and access to other health products and not product as well. It just needed to, he needed that face off. He needed to have that personal one-on-one connect. And no, I did not charge an arm and a leg for it at all. It was truly, truly missionary work at its finest. And it was only God that gave me the strength to do that. But this is one of the number one reasons why I was not able to come before you all, because that time frame was very, very important. And yes, I wanted to come early on, but I admit it was mentally taxing, because I know how critical it is for someone to lose a limb, especially when the knowledge has been given to them and now they see the results, is that now they have to be handicapped for the rest of their life. And so I'm thankful, because at least, yes, they were gracious enough. The doctors did let them know that if I hadn't come through and given, this is the reason why I continue to do these things and speak life, not death. We know that's eventually going to happen from time to time. It's part of the life cycle. My job is just to make sure that we don't do that before our time. And that if we can get an expansion with any of the good knowledge that's already out here, that's been placed out here for us to know. I have to say it like that, because I don't want to make it sound like I'm this old, so super unique and one of a kind, nothing. I am a creation of God. I am a woman that's been made by God. I am a human being, and I have just chose to care enough to gather information that our ancestors, our elders, and those before me have laid out here for us to utilize to help give us more life and not death. That's it. It's it's been a choice to say yay or nay. And so I chose to say yay, because my heart could not bear at all um, watching our people be sick mentally, spiritually, physically. You all give me a moment here. 1 second here. My apologies, you all. That was Miss Naomi. You know your children. He said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm just trying to see if this is okay. No, I'm fine, mommy, I'm fine. I'm fine, mommy, I'm fine. Now every mother knows what that means. I mean, she had something on her mind, and she was calling, calling, calling. I couldn't text. I wasn't thinking to text right away. But yeah. Anywho, thank you all, though, and it has been a full pleasure, a blessing to be back. I pray that I'll be able to continue to. I am moving around a bit because the service in my office, which I pray, basically, I don't know if I can say that, because then I don't want it. Those who may tune in later, I'm a woman, so I have to be careful. Well, no, I don't. I'm good. I practically live out of my office, you all. Um, and so pray for me on that, because I am looking to transition soon. And so that just means more work. And keep my family in your prayers, as I keep you all's family in your prayers. If there's any testimonies, anything of encouragement, I'm gonna give about 5 more minutes. Anybody want to share? Please do share. I do want to start. I do want to start receiving um, some encouraging things from you all, if possible. It doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out. That would be really great. As for the StreamYard here, you all was acting up, and it seemed to have been colliding with the other. Um, it just was not acting right, and you all saw when I tried to do it. So I'm giving it a break for now, because I didn't like the quality. as well. And I did learn how to work it. It was just that it was freezing up other things on my computer, and was not connecting me well with Facebook and those who normally follow and join in and support through Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Even though I had received a package that allow you to get up to eight other platforms. But because I'm not on all those platforms, and yes, it would be good that if I utilize all of those platforms there, then yes, that does mean more monetary support. Yes, that does mean more people tuning in. And yes, that does mean that I'm not there yet. That's all that means. And so I just want to thank you all. So it does mean the world. It means everything that those of y'all that do tune in, that you tune in. I do feel you all's prayers. Note that I do. I do not. I'm going to say I do not. I do not believe that I would be able to come before you all without them, without the positive prayers, without the support. I know without the shout of a doubt that I would not be able to stand with against the many storms and still do the work that I do behind closed doors. I would not, and I know there's some that's asking, well, will you ever go ahead and preach and teach in the Bible and things of that nature? No, not at this time. I have struggled with watching within the last few years those who use the Bible that have been close to me, and they don't apply it. And yes, I admit that has been a struggle for me. And no, I'm not a competitive person. I only like to do what is what comes strictly from the heart, not thinking about what others are doing. But it does have an slight emotional, if not a real big emotional effect on me when I know of those who I have worked with that are not truly applying those scriptures to themselves, and finding out ways to receive remorse and a lot of things from it. I wasn't raised around that. I just had someone to ask me not long ago, well, pastors do this, ministers do this, I said, no, I don't. I can honestly say that even though they weren't perfect, and if you all think back, it was stated almost there if they had them dietary laws. Um, their men are standard and just talk. We all saw it. The women that I was raised with were women of standard. They didn't just talk about it. They did it. So I have great leaders and examples to look up to. And no, I don't think that I have accomplished not even half of what they have as far as integrity, but that most definitely is my goal. And I pray that for those of you all that have seen or have those around you, that you strive to do the same, because that's the only thing that's going to matter in the end. When this country gets to the place to where we have to answer to what our leaders and rulers in high places have decided to do with us, when God's judgment comes towards this country and other places, I think that would be the only thing that is going to help save some of us, is that we did well while we were here and had everything. And now when things get scarce, I'm not looking to do this just because I want somebody to be able to give me fruit. Don't get me wrong. I hope that they would think to say, hey, that's Dr. Shelf. She fed us and she did this and she did that. Give her some fruit. I pray that would be great if I'm in that position. But if not, then I would I would really like to say, hey, I know she's helping, which I know me, I'll be working. I know myself, I'll be working trying to help. And even if somebody tried to put me on a pedestal that God has already made for me, I'm sure I would most definitely, and those of you all that tune in know that I would wind up stepping off of the pedestal so I can go down and help somebody that is not up on that pedestal, because that's what's most important. Yes, money is good. It helps. It answers all things, but it cannot help save a soul. It cannot help save a soul. because it's people that's eating healthy all day long. It's people that got scriptures and told them and know the Bible, the Torah, and the Quran from front to back, and they're dying like flies, bow, just like that. Or they're living a life that is not conducive to what they say they have learned, or from what their lips speaking. And so that is my goal, is to whatever this is, the things that are to come to challenge us, for those of us who will be in this earth at this time, in this season of transition, that we would keep our integrity, that we would stay encouraged, and remember to never, ever give up. I'm done, y'all. I'm finished. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of you all's evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, for those of you all that didn't like to share, please like to share with someone. And you all have a blessed evening on purpose. Okay? Bye-bye.